Everyone, welcome to our first Tech Thursday of the year. We are excited to be joined by Cynthia Price and Mike Perry from Hometown Ticketing, our integrated e-ticketing platform. This is just an opportunity to for them to show our customers a little bit about what features are at their disposal now that, especially now that we have our new websites that are launching. I'm going to start the webinar actually with just a quick view of a couple of our new websites. And then I'm going to let Mike Perry. Mike Perry is a senior relationship manager from Hometown Ticketing. He's going to walk through some of those tools. Cynthia Price is an ecosystem partner, and then we're just going to take it from there. So let me just, I'm going to share my screen here. And I'm just going to give a quick view of one of our new sites. For those of you who are often on il.818.com, here's a view of what it's going to look like. And we have a search function, which is really nice. So you can type in whatever the school name is, and then it'll go, it'll pull up the schools right away. So, you know, if we wanted to go to Oswego East, this is a view of what the new site looks like. You'll see that up here on the right-hand side, we've got, this is the urgent announcement. For those of you who use that urgent announcement function, and it goes in pink and it shifts all your content down, that is no longer. So you've got this awesome notification up here. If a parent cancels this, it will show up again when they log back in. If they click this button, okay, don't show again, that's it. And they can access those announcements in the news and announcements piece right here. You'll see we've got this awesome spot for tweets, and then the e-ticketing tab will be one of the menu items here. So it'll just say tickets. And when you click on that, it's going to take you to the Hometown Ticketing platform. So we're really excited about, you know, this partnership with Hometown Ticketing and the opportunities that it's going to provide our customers. Contactless ticketing obviously is a huge need for most high schools now. And so these guys are the best in the best, fastest growing in the high school and the college space. So everyone, our customers, we know are in very, very good hands. So would love to pass it over to Mike Perry. And Mike, if you want to, I'm going to stop sharing here. If you want to just take it away.
Absolutely. Thanks for the intro. Thanks everyone for joining us this morning. I want to give you guys kind of a brief rundown of our platform. Before I do that, if anyone has questions at any point, please feel free to, throw those in the chat function. You can always reach out to any of us afterwards. We're happy to help answer any questions and kind of walk you through it, any next steps, anything like that. So I'm going to share my screen here so everyone can see that. I want to blow this up for the group to see. Kind of give you guys a quick snapshot on kind of what we provide our individual schools that we work with is a siloed Hometown Ticketing box office, and that's a web-based tool for event management. Now, obviously athletics is going to be one of the first things that comes to mind when it comes to K-12 ticketing. Right now, we're talking to a lot of schools across the country, both at the K-12 level, but also the college level for things like graduation, prom, summer camps. So master IT manager. We do have that integration, but we'll get that embed up onto your site, and the events that you're ticketing effectively in your box office will then correspond with that embed that is up on your site. So you'll see your events then will show up right on the site, and we can put custom images tied to the event. For like prom, if you have a specific theme for that event and you may have a poster or an image, we can put things like that on there. You'll see underneath the event, there's room for an event description. A lot of schools are using this to promote their event policies, whether whether that be a ticket policy, a refund policy, COVID policies. That's a great way to promote that and make sure that your community is aware of what your expectations are relative to your events. The big thing then that you'll see, the big thing that you'll see relative to the event is the date, the time, the location. So all the specifics relative to the event, and then that get tickets button that populates right next to the event. The big benefit here is that your community, your parents, fans, students, alumni, etc., will be able to buy a ticket or register for an event right on your site. They'll never be redirected to hometown ticketing. Frankly, they're probably not familiar with hometown. So the fact that they can do things on a site that they're comfortable using, familiar with, is definitely an added benefit there. In terms of the ticket will get emailed directly to those folks that purchased the ticket. They can then print that ticket at home, or they can bring that ticket on their smartphone. So you have both sides there. If you have someone who maybe doesn't have a smartphone, isn't the most tech savvy, we've got both sides of the aisle covered there with the ticket. You'll see example here of the ticket. You've got the printed ticket, the digital ticket. It's going to have a custom look. So we can incorporate your school logos, colors, any images. Like I said, if it's a special event like a prom or homecoming, graduation, we can incorporate that all into that. Last thing you'll see there, they will have the unique QR code in terms of validation of the tickets, which I'll touch on in a minute. And the other thing would be ad space. So if you have sponsors that you work with within your community, maybe somebody wants to be the official ticketing sponsor of your program, by all means, utilize that tool. Again, a great way to bring in some extra revenue to your programs. Kind of jumping ahead here, a couple of things I want to touch on, popular things that we're seeing across the country. Seat maps, passes, they kind of go hand in hand. Whether you do reserved seating for a performing arts event, season tickets for football or basketball, if you wanted to do reserved seating or pod seating, something like that for graduation, a number of things that we can create on a custom basis for you. Our maps are designed to reflect exactly what your facilities look like. So again, they're going to mimic everything from the grain on the hardwood, the grass on the field, the turf, etc. So all of that is going to, like I said, go hand in hand with what you're trying to promote for your events. Logos, all of that stuff will be incorporated as well for your fans to utilize for their events. The other thing that kind of, like I said, goes hand in hand with that would be passes. Whether you're using passes for a reserved seat event, using those for a specific sport or a specific season, there's a lot of customization that goes along with our passes. You could do those for the fall season, winter, spring, etc., or specific sports within those season or the entire year. So again, a lot of customization with those. And again, we can do both the digital pass as well as a hard pass, which is about the size of a credit card that you can use. Again, covers both sides of the aisle in case your fans prefer maybe to go digital or vice versa. Before I jump ahead, any questions coming through on the back end in the chat?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, perfect. I'll jump ahead then. I always like to highlight some things relative to COVID, some things that we're seeing in terms of tools utilized across the country within our platform. Big thing that we're seeing is obviously the ability to handle your events touch-free, being able to decrease the amount of face-to-face interactions that take place. That's a big piece. Obviously, going digital, you're able to do that by selling tickets online, but also the redemption of tickets at your event. And I'll touch more on scanning here in a moment, but you can have tickets redeemed at your event from up to 6 feet away. So it kind of covers your bases on all of that. Another thing that we're seeing utilized is customized access to events. A lot of schools have limitations in place relative to their capacity. So if you do have something along those lines, you need to limit tickets to, say, your student athletes, your staff, parents, etc. We're seeing a lot of schools will utilize codes to give someone priority access to an event that otherwise may not be open to the general public. Codes can be anything like student ID number, student email address. You can use generic codes, random codes, etc. And there, again, is a lot of customization to that. relative to the events, to the different teams, etc. Again, to provide access to someone who otherwise may not have access to that event. Another thing would be capacity manager. Like I said, we understand a lot of schools have limitations relative to capacity. So you can set a total capacity for your individual events relative to the facilities that you're utilizing. And once that number is set, your ticket sales will never go over that number. So another important piece. Another thing that we're seeing utilized, obviously, is contact tracing. That's a popular piece that comes up in our conversations. We have a tool, obviously, for every transaction you're collecting a name, email, and phone number. That was designed to be a marketing tool, essentially, for schools to promote their events. However, with the current climate that we're all working through, schools are using it for contact tracing as well. So you also have a setting beyond that to turn on collecting guest information. So that's helpful as well. So for everybody that's coming to an event, whether it be a paid event or a free event, such as graduation, you'll be able to collect that information of your attendees. Jumping ahead here, give the group some visuals in terms of validation of tickets at your events. People are purchasing tickets online. The ticket gets emailed to them. They can either print that ticket or bring that ticket on their phone, the digital route. With that said, we do have the Hometown Ticketing Gate app that can be downloaded onto a device to validate tickets at your event. In terms of validation, you can use an iPad, iPod Touch, an Android, just about any device that has access to the App Store to download the Hometown app there. Most of the schools we've seen will have their gate workers simply download the app right onto their phone and scan from that. However, many athletic departments do also have access to things like iPads, Android, things of that nature. So you can download the app onto that and scan your tickets right there at the event. Now, in terms of validation, I have a couple videos here to give the group an idea of what that looks like. This is a Pennsylvania State swim tournament event about a year and a half ago. They're using phones at this event. Couple things with that. You can scan from a distance. You can also scan from behind a ticket window or a shield in a ticket booth, etc. And it will scan both printed and digital tickets.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, this second visual here, we had this school was using iPads that they had mounted on an iPad stand, almost as if you're scanning your ticket, your boarding pass at the airport. So just another neat way of handling your ticket scanning at an event. So the next thing I want to touch on real quick would be our point of sale. Now, we realize that many of the schools we're having conversations with across the country are moving strictly to digital ticketing right now. Another option, regardless of whether you decide to utilize something like this now or in the future, in terms of your gate tickets, your walk-up tickets, cash sales, things of that nature, if you choose to offer cash payments as an option at the event itself, we do have our point of sale app, essentially acts as your cash register, allows you to track your gate and walk up sales, as well as the online ticket transactions that are already happening and being tracked through your box office. So at this point, if you're utilizing this, you're automating the reporting that goes along with every single ticket sold. So just another, like I said, great tool to utilize. You'll see have the ability to text or email tickets to that purchaser at the event. So again, just another option to kind of keep in the back of your head, regardless of what you're offering at your events. Another thing I want to touch on relative to the financial side, probably one of the most important pieces to our platform and kind of a game changer for us, is how our platform is set up. There are no sign-on fees to use Hometown Ticketing. There are no annual fees, so there is no cost to get signed up and using Hometown Ticketing. The only cost you may ever see relative to our platform is going to be a fee per ticket or per pass. A quick illustration here. This is all going to be based on a $7 single game ticket purchased on your website. So you've got that $7 ticket. There is a $1 hometown fee on that single game ticket. And then there is a fee through Stripe. A little background there. Stripe is our payment processor that we work with. Every district or school that we work with creates their own Stripe account, managed then by the district, typically a treasurer or a business manager. You'll manage that. And at that point, you'll connect that Stripe account to your box office. As people make transactions, purchase tickets, passes, etc., that revenue goes right into your district-run Stripe account. Hometown ticketing never touches your revenue, and you can control that as it's coming in. In our experience, what we see, most schools will set up auto withdrawal through their Stripe account daily, weekly, monthly, or of course you can go in manually and pull that revenue as you wish. Again, the big piece there is that we never touch your revenue. Big thing, especially with big events such as prom, where you maybe need to pay out vendors for catering or a DJ, etc. You don't have to wait for that revenue to come in prior to the event. You can get access to that as it's happening. With Stripe, again, no fees to sign up with Stripe. Their fees are based on the transaction. You'll see here 30 cents plus 2.9%. On that $7 ticket comes out to 55 cents. The total then is $8.55. Hometown collects $1, Stripe collects 55 cents, and then the $7 you're charging for the ticket, that face value, goes into your Stripe account. As a district, as a program, you always get the full face value, unless, of course, you opt to absorb fees. So we have some schools that will absorb fees, meaning they're taking that fee on. Most will pass that fee on to the consumer, but some will absorb it. Some will also absorb the fee, but mark up the cost of the ticket to make up for what they're absorbing. So essentially, it's kind of a wash there. But again, you have the ability to customize the financial side as you see best fit for your district. As you all know your communities better than we do. So there is some nice flexibility there. Outside of that, I just want to highlight that for every event that you host within the district, you'll have access to fully automated reporting for the individual events. You'll also have fully automated access to reporting for your payouts through Stripe and through Hometown. So those reports will outline the details of the transactions, the departments they're associated with, the events that they're tied to, etc. So again, a lot of customization on that end. The other thing that I'll mention is that every school is assigned an account manager with Hometown. So I think our goal, and Cynthia would probably echo this, is to make everyone's life easier. We're not here to add things to anyone's plate. We understand that as administrators at the school level, you have a lot on your plate. So our goal is to make things easier on your end, and we'd like to provide resources to help you as well. So don't think that we're giving you a new program and we're just going to throw you out there and expect you to figure things out. We'll help train you, and then beyond that, we've got a support system of people to help. So with that, that's about all I have. Cynthia, I don't know if there's anything else you would add, or if any questions have come through.
I don't see any questions that have come through. Mike, you did a fantastic job as always explaining Hometown. We're very, very fortunate to be partnered with 8 to 18. Everyone that we've come in contact with is great, and we are happy to help. I just want to touch on, if I can touch on anything, it would be, like Mike said, the support. Our support team is available 6 days a week from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., meaning that if you do have those later games, that support team, as well as your account manager, is there and ready to help you. So anything that we can be of assistance of, any further questions, Mike and I are happy to assist and help in any way. So
yeah. One thing that I neglected to add relative to the financial side, and because it kind of goes hand in hand with some of the conversations we're having right now as schools are planning things like prom and graduation. Typically, graduation is a free event, but schools want to be able to customize the amount of tickets that each one of their graduating seniors gets. So there's ways to do that within our system, and just know that for a free event is exactly what it is. It's a free event. None of our fees apply to a free event. So if you wanted to utilize our system for graduation, that would be a great way to kind of get your community acclimated to how the platform works, and just know that there's no cost associated with signing on or utilizing Hometown for an event like graduation or a fundraiser, something like that. So just want to highlight that as well, that our fees do not apply to for event.
Thanks,
That's a-
Mike. Yeah, that is definitely, that was actually going to be my question. I know that we've had some customers that have asked the same, and so that's wonderful because, you know, there's many events like graduation, and, you know, even in the athletics office, we want it to be really efficient for them to be able to use, you know, the awesome tools that you guys have, even if there's not a fee. So that's great.
Same thing I'll
Yeah.
actually add to that would be if a school is still offering cash at the gate too, just know that our fees do not apply to a cash transaction. They're only going to apply to online. So I know that's a common question that comes up as well.
Awesome, thank you. And then lastly, just reiterating the fact that, you know, this is the beginning of a partnership. We've got some really cool integration features that we're going to put in the development roadmap with Hometown. So, you know, and just reiterating that the platform is free for schools to set up. And it's included with the new athletics website. So Hometown Ticketing also has sponsorship spots and opportunities in some ways that we're looking at combining some of our fundraising strategies for schools. And so I mentioned that there's gonna be more details on that coming soon, but you know, there's some really creative, exciting new opportunities with Hometown that are going to really benefit our athletic offices and our customers and our school communities. So just wanted to thank you guys again for that demo and overview. And for those of you who have joined us, thank you. We're going to be sending out a recording of this, and then I'll also be including Mike's information on that email, so that if you have any questions directly, you know, how to customize to fit your program, any additional follow-up questions, then you'll be able to reach out to him directly.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you very much. We're really excited.
Awesome. We are too. So we have more soon. Thanks all.
Thanks everyone for joining us.
All right, take care.
Take care.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.